these drafts?
Oh man, that's always the dreaded question. What would you like to see? I want to see a CP Ringo IMO. Come on, I want to see a CP Ringo.
Yes.
You don't see it too often. You see
I
that
do,
weapon Ringo come out a lot, but I want to see that CP Ringo come out and be played really well.
CP Ringo, I actually think is like he's the most viable, as you do see the Black Feather first ban coming out from Vainglory Insane. It feels like they're prioritizing not having this Black Feather. It's a different captain coming out from Vainglory Insane for this match. It is going to be, as I mentioned already, it is going to be Nazram in the captain's chair as opposed to Black Lotus. So he will obviously Nazram, sorry, it's a she, should I say. She will probably play a different type of play style, although she does pick up Churn Worker as their first pick. Vaguely saying, what do you think it is as opposed to, let's say, Grace?
I think it's a really strong one. Churn Walker, being able to get those hook and chains out, pull them in just to get them close so your team can hit them with that backfire damage or even that front fire damage. But then using the Trespass can be so deadly, and it's one of those abilities that's a lot more difficult to block than a lot of the other AoE silences or stuns by other captains. So if you have a good Churn Walker, you have a good team set to win this game.
Exactly. So, Ringo's picked up on the side of ESSSKIT. Ringo is very strong right now in the lane. They have taken away the Rona. That means Blackfeather and Rona are off the board. Two heroes that do, in some way, I wouldn't say counter Ringo, but make it a lot harder for Ringo to ramp up and do damage. So, ESSSKIT, I feel, have definitely kind of played to their strengths so far in draft, but what would you like to see as a second ban coming out from Vaguely Insane?
Ooh, a second ban. I kind of want to see possibly the Grace ban, because I think Grace would be a little bit stronger against this comp, at least against the Churn Walker. So I think banning the Grace, giving him maybe the option of Arden. I think they could deal with an Arden a little bit better than a Grace. I think they could easily take on a Grace as well, but I think having that choice to give them the Arden instead of the Grace would be fine. But they're gonna ban the Arden instead. All right, very interesting ban, but I can see it.
Just to kind of, the reason why I think they banned Arden is because I feel that Arden is a better support with Ringo than Grace is, because Grace is very much a dive captain, okay, and an aggressive captain. And even though he provides a lot of fantastic heal, I don't think she balances as well with Ringo as Arden does, because when you go in on the Grace, you do expose your laner. And if the enemy team, as we see Vaguely Insane, will pick their last two heroes, can pick a hero that's able to go past the Grace and dive onto the Ringo, it could spell trouble for ESSSKIT.
Yeah, that is true, because, I mean, with the Arden, you do have the Vanguard being able to get back to Ringo and give him that support he needs with the barrier, and shutting him down, just locking him inside a gauntlet can be pretty good for Ringo, so I can see why they want to ban the Arden and give him the Grace.
Glaive.
And there's that dive you were talking about. There's the Glaive, being able to get in there with the Afterburn and knock him closer to his teammates can be really strong against that Ringo.
Yeah, but like, we haven't seen, even though Glaive got a buff in the last patch, Blakinator, he hasn't been used as much, or he doesn't feel like he's in the meta as much as other weapon power junglers or even CP junglers, because I do feel that right now the current meta is a weapon power lane and a CP jungle. And as I said, Glaive got a buff, as we do see Attacker. It's going to actually be a weapon power Glaive. What do you make of this comp? Is it just basically going to be full-on aggression and pressure onto ESSSKIT in the early stages and maybe just try and shut down a snowball?
I think that this comp is going to be really good for the early game, especially if you're good enough with the Glaive, having the Bookie ultis, being able to just sit there with your farm, being able to get in there with the Afterburn when Taka comes up to gank gives you that easy way of engaging, because you have the Glaive Afterburn, you have the hook and chain followed by a pull from Churn Walker if he can land that. So many ways to just pull him out of position for that Taka to dive onto him and just burst him down. But I do like the Baptiste pick to kind of counter this, because if he can get Ordain onto either Glaive or Taka, can kind of just lock them down for at least a few seconds and give them the time they need to bring the fight back to their side.
Yeah, and one thing that I worry about Vaguely Insane's comp, Blake, is that you have double melee, and Grace is at her strongest when it's a double melee. And one thing we sometimes forget to remember is that Ringo is a very aggressive carry. Like, he's somewhat stronger being aggressive than he is kiting back, even though he's a fantastic hero for stutter stepping back towards a turret and getting that damage. He can just as easy, and if not more strongly, be aggressive as a carry and deal out that damage. Plus, ESSSKIT have a Baptiste. Baptiste is going to provide so much CC, a lot of AoE damage with the bad mojo. I do fear for Vaguely Insane's comp going into his game. How do you feel yourself?
I think they have a good comp, but I believe that the Baptiste was a really good strong pick, because it gives them that crowd control they need, as well as the ability to just be that front line with the Grace to keep that Ringo alive.
Yep.
And dealing a lot of damage with that, like you said, the AoE, and here using the Fearsome Shade to kind of control them away from the Ringo and let Ringo just poke from the back lines, doing that massive damage he always, every time, puts out late game, can just be really strong for their comp.
Exactly, and we are just getting ready to load into the game for these players. These are two really good teams, especially Vaguely Insane, not to be too biased, but these guys have really impressed me. They came into the tournament as an unknown for me, at least, and they've blown me away with some of their performances. They really took, they've taken a lot of strong teams right down to the edge and overturned them. But viewers in the chat, get your hashtags out there. Hashtag Vaguely Insane. Hashtag ESSSKIT on who you want to see, who you are supporting, because it's what we want to see as casters. It's what the players want to see when they look back. They want to know that you guys support them. It gives them more confidence. And we are into the fold for the first game, Blake.
Yeah, definitely going to be a great match. Like I said, I haven't really heard of ESSSKIT before, but I do know these names. I've played with Pure C9 a few times. Same with StarK. Really good players. I've heard of a bad player. Haven't personally played with him myself. But just really strong players, and so they Vaguely Insane's got a match up against them, so this is gonna be a really good match, and I can't wait to see how the fold unfolds.
There you go, you got there. I like the double weapon blade pick up from Cocoa Butter. I think that's a really strong choice from the Taka in the early stages. One, it helps him farm up quite quickly, and also when it comes to an early game engagement, he's not solely relying on his kiting ability and is able to just kind of stay onto an enemy hero and do that basic damage. Now, we do see both teams playing some form of a passive start, just looking to kind of farm up a little bit. Ringo, I feel, is going to have a bit of an advantage in this early game, as he doesn't quite have, he has no range compared to the Ringo. So I'm kind of surprised that a bad player on this Ringo isn't actually being more aggressive, because Ringo has that great perk where after he kills a minion, it gives him a crit on his next auto attack.
Yeah, and that can be really strong. Every time you take out a minion, you get a little bit of poke onto that enemy laner, and it's a good way to slowly burst them down, especially having that double weapon blade, being able to take your wave down really fast. You can get those crit shots out a lot more often, and can just dish out so much damage and kind of push them off their wave.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, do you see Nazarim just kind of like pushing a little bit far in? I think they're just kind of create that little bit of pressure, just not really give that much chance. But look at Cocoa Butter.
Ooh, trying to steal the farm, not quite going to be able to get it. Getting really low. Dodges the Ordain, though, and is going to be able to get out with the Kaku. Nice kiting coming out from Cocoa Butter. Really good job there, so able to get out. Wasn't quite able to take the farm, though, and he's going to be able to get out and go and get his rotation, looks like.
Yeah, but now it does mean that the mid-century is going to go over to ESSSKIT. It's not the most important thing in the world, but Cocoa Butter I don't know if he's looking to steal this.
Oh, wasn't quite able to get it. Ordain was able to trap him down, and StarK was able to get that Elder Treant. It was a good attempt by Cocoa Butter, though, and that's going to be first blood for ESSSKIT.
Yeah, I felt that was a little bit risky, though, coming out from Cocoa Butter and even Vainglory Insane in general. You know, as I said, the double weapon play does make it a little bit easier for the attacker to, let's say, engage, but the main reason why you get the double weapon blade is just to farm up quicker. And Batista's a lot stronger early game than Taka, and so is Grace. So, you know, you gotta play to your comp's win conditions / power spikes, especially in the early stages, because you don't want to get snowballed like.
Yeah, for sure. Because, yeah, Baptiste, early game, he just does so much damage with the empowerment from his perk, as well as just having that natural sustain from the Reap ability is just great for that early game.
And nice rotation coming out from the bad player.
Hook and Chain going out, trying to hit the minion, try to get that last hit on it, but not quite going to finish it off. And Bad Player and StarK both coming out, looking to get into a little bit of a fight, a little bit of poke coming out from that Bad Mojo on StarK, doing some decent damage on I Love Ashley.
Yeah, this is where I think the pressure.
Oh, there we go. Bad Mojo comes out, followed by the Ordain, doing some nice damage, but he's going to go afterburn out after the Ordain goes down and it gets out of there. Getting really low, though, so he's got to watch himself.
Yeah, and as I said, like, as I was just kind of saying, this is the pressure that we're seeing from ESSSKIT. Good rotations, by the way. I want to point out fantastic rotations by ESSSKIT. You know, I know Nazram, she is having to protect Dave. It makes sense, but we do see Cocoa Butter now rotating up. I feel that that's what he should have done to begin with. As the Holy Nova does miss onto Nazram. But yeah, you know, Cocoa Butter needs to be up there in that rotation to put a little bit of pressure onto Ringo, get that basic attack on, and use the chitin and the double weapon blade to his advantage. So yeah, the Vainglory Insane's rotations I don't think haven't been the strongest in the early stages. But look at the vision coming out from Piercy even in the early stages. 5 minutes, some scout traps going out there in the middle of this kind of lane area just to make sure that if Taka does go into Kaku, that he is sorted out as quickly as possible, Blake.
Yeah, and we see the clockwork coming out from StarK, so looking to get that Fearsome Shade, and there goes the Fearsome Shade out now on the I Love Ashley, is going to Ordain Glaive, and Glaive's going to get stunned out of his afterburn. The Holy Nova goes down and stuns the Taka. Taka getting kind of low. The Hellfire Brew coming out from Ringo is going to land onto Cocoa Butter. Cocoa Butter, the burn, slowly taking him down, is going to be able to survive, but will he go back into the fight? Does not look like it, and they're going to disengage.
No, burn baby burn, Disco Inferno, as ESSSKIT have gotten a good push onto a turret. It's down to...
Ooh, Afterburn coming out is going to push Bad Player into the bush. He's going to pop his flask, though. Holy Nova comes down, stuns both Churnwalker and Glaive. Nazram getting about half health, and Bad Player going in for the kill is getting pretty low, but he's going to be able to get out of there.
Yeah, Bad Player has just so much advantage, as I said, in the early stages. But look at this StarK coming up.
Yeah, looking to get some poke damage in with that Bad Mojo is going to land another one onto I Love Ashley. 2 stacks into his ability. One more is going to get him empowered. Ordain comes out as followed by the Benediction. Glaive, almost down, is just barely going to be able to get out of there. Gets stunned by the Ordain, but able to do so, saving his life.
Yeah, just about. It was a really close call, but I feel like that turret is going down.
Oh, there goes the Fearsome Shade. Chitin is going to be able to dodge, but the Ordain comes out, is going to stun him. Followed by the Holy Nova. Cocoa Butter gets stunned. Fountain comes out, though, by Nazram. Still level 5, not quite going to be able to use that Trespass, but Piercy gets really low. Xretsu coming down is going to hit him, but he's not going to be able to go down. And, man, this fight, Fountain is still up for ESSSKIT. Fountain is down for Vaguely Insane, so they definitely want to be careful for this engage.
They do. They would be far better off kind of not necessarily pointing back to the Taka and the Glaive rotating. As I said, it was best choice. Really good by Vaguely Insane. It's a great way of trying to help your team get not necessarily ahead, but just back into the chance of winning a team fight by taking both the experience and the ambient gold together as jungle and carry. It's the best way of just kind of giving yourself a good chunk of gold and getting the items that you need a little bit faster, Blake.
Yeah, definitely. Being able to get that double experience in gold, like you said, it's really beneficial. Gets them out of the fight and keeps them a little bit safe, especially with that first turret gone. You don't want to push too far with that lane and overextend and just give them the opportunity to gank you with that Ordain or the Benediction Holy Nova combo, and you can get caught out so easily with that. And there goes the X-Retsu and the Afterburn. Fearsome Shade is going to push Taka away, but he's going to go back in Fountain, and Divine Intervention comes out, though. Stark back up to full health, and here comes Bad Player in. Does have the breaking point on top of the Spell Sword. It's going to start dealing out a lot of damage. Nazram already getting half health, and Cocoa Butter dodges the Holy Nova and is going to be able to get out, but the damage coming out from Bad Player is just massive right now, up to 12 stacks. There goes the Hellfire Brute. It's going to land onto the Churnwalker, but they're going to be able to get out. Good engage, though, for ESSSKIT. There goes the Afterburn, though. Is going to stun Stark. Holy Nova goes down. X-Retsu onto Ringo. Ringo trying to get Cocoa Butter down to low HP, but the Fountain comes out. Bad Player popping the Reflex Block is going to survive, but there goes the X-Retsu to take him down, and that's going to be first kill for Vaguely Insane. Afterburn comes down to bring Grace out of there, and Grace is going to go down to an X-Retsu, and they're going to try for that ace, but not going to be able to get it. Man, Taka really low. Star K still pretty much full HP, and there goes the Ordain trying to take out Cocoa Butter. Oh my goodness, can he get out? Is going to pop the boots, and the Kaku's going to get him out of there. Great engage for them. We're able to get 2 kills. Weren't able to push a turret off of that, though, and we're able to get out.
Cocoa Butter playing like his IGM, being as slippery as a stick of butter, Blake. Really good play by Vaguely Insane. I did worry about them initially on the engagement because they weren't getting onto the Ringo. And at the end of the day, the Ringo has to be your focus on these team fights. But they persisted. They went back in. Taka, the Cocoa Butter on this Taka, had a really nice engagement onto the Ringo. Ringo tried to kite back and was pretty successful. But that Afterburn by I Love Ashley was really on point and helped secure at least most of the team fight for Vaguely Insane.
Yeah, definitely. And would you be as much to say that he's taking Vainglory's advice and playing buttery smooth?
He is playing buttery smooth indeed. Fantastic play on words, Blake and Ayler. Pretty obvious thing to say, but you can't deny how true it was, at least in that last team fight. You know, like I said, he got onto the Ringo nicely, kept engaging, disengaged nicely, re-engaged perfectly. I would like to see the Crucible being used in all the Crucibles and the Reflex.
There goes the Benediction. Holy Nova goes down. Is going to get blocked by the Crucible as well as the Fearsome Shade, though. Afterburn comes down, is going to get blocked, but he's going to get pushed back. Ringo getting really low by the Glaive, but is going to be able to get out. Flask gets popped by the Churnwalker. Fountain is still up for Vaguely Insane, but is down for ESSSKIT, and Taka is going to go in with the X-Retsu. Is going to get missed by the Holy Nova, though, and Turret is locking on the I Love Ashley, but she's going to get out with an Afterburn.
Yeah, it was great engagement again between I Love Ashley to get onto the Ringo. It was blocked by a Bad Player, but it didn't stop him from moving out of position. However, because Batiste was dishing out those bad mojos, building up his stacks, he really chunked down Cocoa Butter to the point where he couldn't risk going onto Ringo. So that's something that I think Vaguely Insane really need to necessarily start respecting, but also if they go in for the engagement, that it's one, they are catching out to Ringo, or two, that they get the job done within 3 seconds of the team fight, as in before Grace has a chance to sniff out the Benediction onto the Ringo.
Yeah, and if they're able to just watch out for those stacks, be able to work around it, kind of dodge the bad mojos, get some damage in on him to make him want to back up a little bit, it gives him that opportunity to lock in on the Ringo. Ringo doesn't really have much in the form of defense, so they're able to burst him down pretty fast. And we're going to see the X-Retsu come down, do some nice damage onto Grace. Benediction comes out. Holy Nova is going to get blocked by the Crucible, as well as the Fearsome Shade. Man, Oh my goodness. Nazrum with those Crucibles blocking both the Holy Nova and Fearsome Shade. The great timing on those Crucibles is just working really well in these fights.
She showed why she is in this captain role for this match, I believe, replacing Black Glows. I'm not aware of the reasons why, but she has proven that she deserves to have a chance as a hook and chains are going on to ESSSKIT.
There goes a Hellfire Brew, though, onto Nazrum. Is going to do a little bit of damage. You did see ESSSKIT going for that gold mine, but they're going to back off, seeing that Vaguely Insane is there. We do have Fountain up for both teams. Crucible's up for Vaguely Insane in 2 seconds. Holy Nova comes down and is going to get blocked by a reflex block. Grace getting really low, but you do see the damage coming out from Ringo doing some nice work. There goes Fountain for Vaguely Insane. And Nazrum taking a lot of damage. 14 stacks on that breaking point for the Ringo, and they're going to want to back up out of this fight. Only Grace being the one that's low.
Yeah, but look at Nazrum being chased down by
the
that
Achilles
wave,
shot is going to slow Nazrum down, but he's going to be able to get the reflex block to keep him alive that little bit that he needs. And we see I Love Ashley pushing that minion wave, try to get some damage on this turret as much as she can. Or he can.
Yeah, and one thing that I think should have been done in terms of build path for both the Taka and the Glaive. It's unusual, of course, but I actually feel, considering the comp and the CC that ESSSKIT have, and the sustain, I think it should have been Tension Bow on both Taka and Glaive, and Glaive gets Spell Sword, and then Taka follows up with Aftershock, because when you're against a Ringo and the likes of Batista that bring a lot of sustain and a lot of CC, the burst could really make a difference to just absolutely wiping Black Ringo out before, as I said, before the Divine Intervention is even sniffed out. So I think Tension Bow would have been an item that could easily have been picked up by one or both of Vaguely Insane.
Yeah, I think if they both would have went Tension Bow, it would have been a lot easier to burst down this Ringo, but I can see why he's going the Sorrow Blade Shiv breaking point, because if they're able to get that Ringo down, if they're in a fight against this Baptiste, you're going to want those stacks from the breaking point and that Mortal Wound from the Shiv to counteract the massive sustain coming out from Baptiste and be able to just survive in a fight against him if you're able to take out that Ringo. So I can see the way he's thinking.
Oh yeah, of course. That's the thing. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but look at Vaguely Insane. Okay, their turret is now being pushed, but they took the Crystal Sentry as it is 15 minutes in. I gotta say, this has been a very slow-paced match as the turret does go down on the side of Vaguely Insane.
Cocoa Butter going in on to Piercy, doing some nice damage, is going to block the Holy Nova, and the Afterburn comes out, not quite going to be able to finish off Grace. Grace putting in the Divine Intervention is going to keep him alive. Trespass comes down, though, is going to stun them, and Grace goes down. They have no support, and they're looking to do some nice damage, but the bad mojo coming out is going to take down the Glaive. Hellfire Brew going up onto Nazrum, and Nazrum is going to start taking some damage. Is he going to be able to get out? Looks like he is, but man, Grace for Glaive. I think ESSSKIT won that engage there.
They won the engage, but I've got to give credit and props to Vaguely Insane, because their kind of focus is slightly shifting, simply because, at least initially on the team fight, simply because they can't really get to the Ringo, so their thought process is, let's go for the Grace. Grace is the healer. If we can either chunk down or take down the Grace in a slightly elongated team fight, we actually have a chance of taking out the rest of ESSSKIT, because it really exposes the rest of their team. So I get where their focus is kind of lying and why they are taking this focus, at least in these engagements that we've had in the past couple of minutes. But as I said, it's still been a very slow paced game. Gotta give full credit to ESSSKIT. That vision coming out from Piercy is unbelievable. It's really shutting Cocoa Butter down, Blakenator.
Yeah, the vision game is strong with this one. It's just keeping the Taka from getting any bit of surprise on that he needs to get, and it's just giving them a good advantage in this jungle.
Like, that vision is so good. Like, you could even see a leprechaun with it. That's how good that vision is, and I should know because you don't see leprechauns in Ireland.
Oh my
So that's,
goodness!
like, really
I mean,
good.
you see the leprechaun, it gives him great opportunity to lose his pot of gold.
It does, and you know what they say about the pot of gold? You chase a rainbow and you will find a pot of gold. So that's we're seeing a bit of stagnation between the two teams. As I said, the Kraken is up, Blake. We're nearly 18 minutes into this game. The goal difference is nothing between these two teams.
I love
Absolutely
Ashley
nothing.
going in with the afterburn, able to steal that health treant, is going to be able to back out. And they're looking for a fight here. You see them being pretty aggressive and just waiting for that moment. Bad Mojo's coming out constantly by Baptiste, though. Is going to Benediction in. Holy Nova is going to stun Nazram. And, oh my goodness, the Echo Holy Nova followed by the Ordain is going to lock down Nazram heavily. And that's going to give him a great opportunity to go after this Kraken with Vaguely Insane not having a roam.
Yeah, I think it would be a little bit silly for Vaguely Insane to try and steal the Kraken. They should just maybe push the lane a little bit so that when the Kraken is unleashed, it's not as much pressure. But look at I Love Ashley. They're thinking about it. No, they don't.
Oh, she went in, wasn't quite able to get it, and I think that was a little bit of a mistake. Ashley is going to go down, and they're chasing after the Taka. Fearsome Shade comes down, followed by the Ordain. Is going to get blocked by a Reflex block, though, and the Benediction comes down, is going to try to chase him, is not going to be able to finish him off, and he's going to be able to get out, but they have that Kraken, full health coming down, Glaive down for 28 seconds. That's going to give him a great opportunity to push this wave.
It is, and as I said, Vaguely Insane, they've let this game get a little bit behind them. That mistake by Nazem where she just essentially got caught out, it has sent them on a bit of a spiral in the last couple of minutes. However, they can still recover. The Kraken is getting chunked down a little bit. The Glaive
Here
is
comes
now
I Love
off.
Ashley, getting the infusion at level 12, looking to do some nice damage. Nazram just getting all these chains out. And, the Holy Nova comes down, is going to try to block it, but is not going to land it, and Nazram goes down again. Fountain was still up, and that gives full reign for them to push this Kraken. Kraken's still at full health, with all three of them on it, doing some nice damage onto Isle of Ashley, a bad player, just dishing out the damage there with that Spell Sword breaking point, and Tyrant's Monocle. Kraken still at a 3rd HP, and they're going to be able to finish this game off, killing the Taka, and that's going to be game 1 for ESSSKIT. Wow. What a turn of events.
It was a turn of events. I did worry that it was going this way for Vaguely Insane based on their comp, and I will get into that a little bit shortly. But the execution by ESSSKIT on their comp, they had great range. The rotations that was coming up from Batiste in the early stages, Ringo had so much freedom. He was not dived on in the same way that I actually felt he should have been and would have been, but just the protection that was coming out from Grace had the double divine intervention in the late stages, really well executed by ESSSKIT, but it was close between the two teams.
And Piercy with that Echo, most of the time you get an Echo on Grace, you usually use it to get that divine intervention off twice in a fight. But that one time when they caught out Nazram, using the the Echo to echo his Holy Nova and get that double stun off, which got Nazram caught out heavily, was just a great turning point in that game, and that's what got them that chance to go for that Kraken.
Yeah, exactly, and just to now take it back to what I mentioned just briefly before, I think the downfall for Vaguely Insane was the draft. Great that they picked up the Churnwalker, but I pointed this out in the last game that I casted. There's no, what makes a comp really great is not just picking meta picks, but you pick heroes that complement each other, okay? So Churnwalker is really well into a ranged comp, okay? But also works really well with a ranged comp, okay? But when you have a double melee, on your team with Churnwalker and you're against a Grace in double range, there's so many chances that you're going to get shut down. So on the last pick of Vaguely Insane, they had the Churnwalker, they had the Glaive, not the worst and, very competent two heroes. They should have gone for somebody like a Sky or even a Celeste that would have been in the backline like the Ringo was for ESSSKIT, dishing out the damage, building up the stacks on the likes of the breaking point, and would have made a far better impact in the later team fights.
Yeah, I really like that thought of getting the Celeste there to go with the Glaive, because Celeste can dish out a lot of damage once she hits that level 8, getting those extended Heliogenesises, and just dishing out a lot of damage once you get that Dragon's Eye and maybe an Eve or a Clockwork. Just the massive damage output coming from that, and then the Afterburn being able to go in the back lines and get that carry closer to her so she can melt them down is just a really great combo, and having the Churnwalker with that is just... you couldn't ask for anything better than that.
Well, yeah, and it would have also have countered somewhat the CC, because it would have brought more CC onto the side of Vainglory. But however, that was the first game. Let's see what Vainglory is saying can do in the second game, as ESSSKIT instantly banned the Black Feather, taking it off the table. It must be a Varia ban from Vainglory, saying there's no way they're going to let it go. It just makes complete and utter sense, Blake.
I'm waiting for the one game where a Varia ban does not come out and it gets let through, because yes, it's dangerous. You don't want it to go through, but I want to see a Varia in one of these games. Oh my goodness! Oh my, the Ringo! My wish has been granted. Oh my goodness, is the Varia gonna get picked up?
You know, I actually have a feeling it's not gonna get picked up by ESSSKIT. They'd be silly not to, but one issue is about Varia right now. Oh no! ESSSKIT
pick it up. Oh my goodness. Drop the mic. Let's get into business.
And Rona is picked up by Vainglory Insane. Maybe Vainglory Insane have actually thought of a draft or have a strategy to counter the Varia, so they don't actually mind Varia going over to ESSSKIT. And like I was going to bring up, it's all well and good to say that Varia is broken, but part of what makes it necessarily, like, not risky, but actually not a bad thing to let the Varia go, is because she's banned so much in solo queue and these competitive matches of Blake, is that not a lot of people are playing Varia and therefore might not know how to actually utilize her kit to the best ability, as in there's maybe more chance she's going to get exposed in the front line, as Vainglory saying do ban out the Grace, which I'm kind of surprised, because Grace and Rona are great dive come together. I don't quite get why they banned the Grace, Plague.
Yeah, it's a very interesting ban. I think keeping the Grace out would have been great, but I do think that Grace with Avaria is pretty strong, because having the Holy Shield from the Benediction, as well as the Divine Intervention coming out to keep her up, and then the barrier coming out from Varia's B is just a lot of just defense there. And I realized they could pick her up because they get the next pick, but on the off chance they didn't, it's understandable. Maybe they don't want the Grace.
Yeah, maybe I don't, but I just think with Rona it makes sense. However, Taka's been banned, which, if Taka wasn't banned, I would have said 100% pick up Lyra. But with Taka banned, I kind of feel Arden or even Lance as a surprise pick would be better for Vainglory Insane, that matches and works well with Rona. Because as I said, it's nearly more important that you have a captain that works well with your carry and jungle, rather than just a meta captain, a meta carry, and a meta jungle that don't really synergize well together.
Yeah, and picking up that Lance, I like the idea of picking up a Lance there, because being able to get that root down, and if you can get the wall them into a wall, get that stun off, that gives Rona the opportunity to into the fray and then put down the red mist. You deal out a lot of damage, and they're stunned for a good second, so that's plenty of time for Rona to just get in there and melt them down and take them out like they need to do in these fights.
It is, and look what Vainglory Insane have picked up. They've picked up a Sky. Taka is off the table. They've got a Rona. So they've got a very good dive hero on the front line. They've got a very good hero in the back line that provides a lot of mobility and a lot of damage with the Sky 4 Barrage Sword Strike. Death from above, which can potentially slow down and stun the enemy team, giving Rona even more of a chance. And plus, by picking up the Sky, you've picked up a hero that counters the Rona. So very good draft by Vainglory Saints so far. It does mean that they haven't got their captain, but I think the time that Iska are taking to pick their last two picks, it means I feel they've kind of been caught slightly off guard by the Sky pickup.
Ooh, and we're gonna see the Vox coming up. Are we gonna see a jungle CP Varia? Ooh.
We very well could, as Arden has picked up. I doubt it's going to be a jungle Vox in CP or weapon power, especially CP. But like I said, I think Lance is a pretty strong pickup as a support. The only thing I would slightly fear is that Lance, when you dive in and you miss the Impale, Varia is kind of good. Even though she's not too mobile with her Anvil, I believe it is, she's able to dodge out quite nicely and yeah, just provide a little bit of frustration for the... No, it's the arc recursion, my humble apologies. The arc recursion, which just reposition her, can potentially make it harder for the Lance to land his Impale.
Yeah, and who knows, they might surprise us, and the ultimate, like, mess with your brain comp, Weapon Lane Arden, Roam Varia, CP Jungle Vox. I'm calling it.
You know what? I'm not going to argue with you simply because, one, it's unbelievably ridiculous. It could well happen. And two, Iska are a game up in this series. But the Lyra has been picked up by Vainglory Saints. So you've got great backline support for the Sky. You know, the Lyra provides fantastic CC. However, that doesn't necessarily play into the strengths of all of Iskit's comp. It is a great counter to Arden because the Bright Bulwark can literally shut both the Vanguard and the Gauntlet down on the Arden. Rona in the front line should hopefully be able to get into Varia quite nicely with the Imperial Sigil speed boost. Let's not forget the speed boost that the Imperial Sigil gives you, and with that backline damage coming out from Sky, 2 or 3 items into the mid-late game. Vaguely Sane has got a lot better comp in this second game, Blake.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great thing to watch, and we do see bad player highlighting that Weapon Lane Arden. I told you, my senses were like, they gotta bring it out. The Weapon Arden's coming back from the dead. Let's go, bad player. I got you.
I'm sure that was just a slight bit of a troll, Blake. But hey, you never know. You never know. Stranger things have happened, and we are into the fold for this second game.
Hey,
Blake.
the trolls bring you the biggest wins, man. They give you... those are the satisfying wins, are the ones you win while trolling.
Well, there's no weapon playing on the side of Arden, so I feel they're going to be a little bit disappointed in this second game of the series. It's most obviously a support. Arden, what I do find interesting is that he's actually got boots first item, as opposed to, let's say, the Iron Guard contract and the shield,
Okay.
just to kind of start off. No, the shield to start off.
Oh, the yeah. Yeah, definitely interesting start. Looks like he's wanting to get a bit of an aggressive start onto Nazrim here. You see him in the bush doing some basic attacks, getting some decent damage off here at the start, but not going to be able to steal anything, and he's going to be able to back off.
Yeah, no, I think part of the reason why he's gone for boots is because it gives him a good bit of disengagement from both the Sky and the Rona in the early stages. So it's definitely not a bad idea. Vaguely saying going straight for this mid-century. They feel they have the ability to take it away. They do indeed. And it's good by Vaguely saying I feel a better start to this first game than in the last game. Sorry, in this game compared to the first game.
Yeah, definitely, and definitely looking forward to this. You see Ashley doing some nice damage. Into the Fray coming out is going to be able to get that Mortal Wound off from the Foe Splitter. Piercy getting really low right off the bat. And, man, the poke coming out from Nazrim, just getting that little bit of a aggressiveness to go beside I Love Ashley and get them that good push they need.
Yeah, exactly. She's a great... Nazrim on this Lyra, she's a great complement.
Oh, my goodness. There goes the Imperial Sigil, but he's going to be able to pop the flask. Nice Imperial Sigil, baiting out that flask and wasting it so they're not going to have... Well, not really wasting, it keeps him alive, but making it so he doesn't have it for the next team fight, at least for another 100 seconds.
And look at the great rotation that came out from Vaguely Insane. I love Ashley rotating down, not only took the mid health tree off the Varia, but was able to rotate down and get the experience and the...
Oh my goodness, the Arc Incursion is coming out. It's going to do some nice damage on a Nazrim. Not quite going to be able to finish her off, and she's going to be able to port out... Or not port out, Nazrim, scaring her off. I see you, Nazrim. Be like, nope, this is my bush. My bush.
My bush, my lovely lady bush. Check me out. Indeed. So, interesting start to this game again. I think it's definitely somewhat similar passively wise.
Oh, I love Ashley going into the fray, coming down, is going to try to get him out, but going in a little bit too far is going to find all three of the team of ESSSKIT, and man. Oh, but he's going to be able to get out Sky, put in some support. Surrey Strike, followed by a forward barrage, going to be able to get Ashley out of there. Ashley trying to go in for the kill, wasn't able to get it, but did not quite get shut down. So good job by Vaguely Insane, giving her that support she needs.
Caster Chris, just as I say, it's been a little bit passive. There's that sudden engagement where you have to jump in and cast this one out. So I'm just gonna kind of wait for the action to unfold before I kind of say anything more in some way, at least about any kind of engagement.
Yeah, it was a good attempt by Rona, almost able to take out StarK on that Varia. There goes the Arc Incursion coming down, followed by the A. Is going to do some nice damage on the Nazrim, but the Imperial Sigil is going to keep him alive. And we see Sky helping Rona down with the farm. They're going to go look for the engage onto StarK. There goes Rona, getting some nice damage off with the Foe Splitter. Is going to pop the Mortal Wound down into the frag past her, but she's going to double back and get out of the way. And is going to be able to get that mid-treant.
Yeah, and Jungle hasn't touched.
Oh, stay in there, though. There goes the Foe Splitter. Do some nice damage. Arc Incursion is going to try to get out, but is going to come back trying to take that health treant. They're going to be fighting for it. There goes the Sentry, though, getting him pretty low. I Love Ashley is going to be able to take the health treant, though. Will he be able to get out? Looks like he will, but bad player coming down, followed by Piercy. Looking to get the kill over into the fray, over the wall. Is going to be able to get him out of there, though. Nazrim getting low from the box damage, but is going to survive. Still, no deaths on either side, but so close multiple times in this fight. Man, who do you think's going to get the first kill?
I think it is going to go over to Vaguely Insane, because I just feel they're being a little bit cheekier. However, we haven't talked much about Barry this game, and when she did engage onto the Lyra, we saw the damage it was dealing out.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to get a little bit of the farm coming out from Vaguely Insane's side, and get a little bit of revenge from the farm they've been stealing in the for Vaguely Insane in the early game.
Yeah, that was actually great by ESSSKIT to just kind of counter Jungle in some way, and as you said, look to take back what Vaguely Insane have cheekily be doing. It's similar gold-wise. Vaguely Insane are about 2k gold lead ahead, even though there's no kills on the board. That does say.
Oh, Foe Splitter into the fray coming down is going to get him low. Red Mist going off, but is going to be able to pop the flask on a bad player, and he's going to be able to get out. We do have a fountain, though, on Lyra. No fountain for the side of ESSSKIT right now, and the Surrey Strike is going to do some nice damage. Piercy getting really low. Forward Barrage almost able to take him out, but we do see the ultimate coming out from Varia doing some nice poke damage on to the Sky, but Rona going in. Is he going to be able to get the first kill? First kill out onto Arden, and Fountain goes off and is going to be able to get them out of there. That's going to be first blood for Vaguely Insane. You called it, my boy Imperium. Man.
I did. I saw the threat that was coming out. Thank you very much.
Oh, there goes the bulwark, and the forward barrage not quite going to be able to take out Piercy, but Cocoa Butter looking for the kill. There goes the death from above, is going to break him off, and Lyra's going to be able to get that kill. Great placement on the death from above there, able to secure that kill, gives him a way of not being able to escape on the box, and that's going to be a turret there for them, it looks like. Is Cocoa Butter be able to get it? No, not quite.
They should take the turret. They should look to take it, because there's no point in winning a teamfight engagement if you don't take advantage. And they are going to take it indeed. Like, first turret going down on this side of ESSSKIT. Vaguely Insane. They're coming into the second game. They want to show they are not out of it. They are a tough team. They have a lot of heart. They're full of passion, and they are ready to show this on the fold, Blake.
Yes, and the gameplay coming out from both these teams shows you exactly why, no matter what anybody says, this is the main event that we are bringing to you tonight. And we do see an engage possibly happening. Varia missing her A, not quite going to be able to hit it. And Nazem going to go back, get some items, and be ready for that next fight.
Exactly, and look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Viewers in the chat, get your hashtags out for Vaguely Insane and Iska. Show them the support. Let them know how much a win would mean to you on each side. Do you want to see Vaguely Insane get back into this? Take it to a 3-game series. We will find out as the action is just starting to unfold even more and more. 8 minutes into this game, Blake.
Yeah, or if you don't care who wins, you want to see the underdogs, you want to see the sweeps, be like, hashtag comeback kings, hashtag sweep the floor. Get the brooms ready, guys. We'll see if it's going to happen. We do see the ult coming out from Varia, looking to steal the gold mine, but no, Rona is going to be able to take it out, and that's going to be a gold mine for Vaguely Insane, but we do see ESSSKIT looking to push that turret. Are they going to be able to come up in time to save it? It looks like they will. Surrey Strike coming down is going to take out a few minions, and that's going to be a turret saved for the side of Vaguely Insane. We do see I Love Ashley going in with an infusion to take some of this farm.
I did. My heart did skip a beat.
Oh, into the fray, over the wall. It's going to go after Starcade. There goes the boots. Red Mist coming out is going to take some of that farm and do some nice damage. Going to go with the Foe Splitter. Going to do nice damage onto the Varia. Is going to go onto the Crystal Sentry, though. There goes the Sentry down. And they're going to be able to take out the Varia. Rona doing some nice damage. Fountain coming out from Nazrum. And they're going to lock onto the Vox. Vox trying to survive, but the Rona is going to lock onto him. Nice forward barrage damage coming out from Scott, and that's going to be a full rotation from ESSSKIT going to Vaguely Insane, as well as 2 kills. Great engage on the side of Ashley in that jungle invasion.
Exactly, and that's the thing, like, I'm kind of keeping an eye on a little bit map as much as possible. I Love Ashley is completely away from the rest of his team, but not like he's exposing himself. I Love Ashley is holding his own against his Varia and really causing or being a big menace for ESSSKIT, and it's like Varia doesn't know how to control it. Look at the vision coming out from Nazareth. She is doing a fantastic job to help secure.
Oh, into the fray coming out is going to go in on after Starcade. Not quite going to be able to get onto him this time. There goes the ult coming. Oh, no, that's the Arc Incursion coming out from Starcade. The A is not quite going to connect. Vox getting into the middle of it, but is going to get shut down by the Bulwark. And Rona is just going to melt him down. Little bit of a miscommunication there, I think, from ESSSKIT. Vox getting out of position and just gets swarmed by the side of Vaguely Insane. That's going to be a second life going down from the Crystal Sentry and some nice poke damage coming out from Cocoa Butter from that forward barrage. Are they going to be able to get the second turret? Looks like they will be able to get it, even with the turret shots coming down, and that's going to be some nice gameplay coming off from Vaguely Insane. Whew.
It's not nice gameplay, it's the perfect gameplay, because that one kill got them a turret, and just to correct you, it wasn't that they defeated the Sentry for the second time. They eliminated it, Blake.
Oh, that was the last life. Oh my goodness.
That was the last one. That's how much I Love Ashley has been in control of this jungle, as an immense gold payout again goes over to Vaguely Insane. This is, like I said, this is pro play stuff, because like I said, they turned that one kill in the last team fight into all of that. Is Vaguely Insane.
Oh, come on. I Love Ashley going in after Piercy, looking to take him out, kind of doing that little dance there, be like, hey, I want you. Come here. Oh, there goes the death from above. Is not quite going to connect onto anybody. Vanguard coming down is going to go past it. Man, some nice damage coming out from Cocoa Butter, though, getting those stacks up to 8 Dragon's Eye stacks right now, and they're going to go in. Rona doing some nice damage. Red Mist comes down, is going to block the Gauntlet stun, and is looking to take out the Vox, but the damage coming out from Vox is going to get Ashley low. Surrey Strike coming down. The A from Varia is not quite going to connect, but there goes the ult. Is she going to be able to pick off anybody? No, that's going to be the choke point turret going down for Vaguely Insane, and that's going to be, they're up 5 turrets to 2 against ESSSKIT right here. The pro plays are continuing to happen, and they're just starting to continue to snowball this game. Just great job coming out from Vaguely Insane.
Yeah, and just one part of that last engagement, or should I say disengagement, that I want to comment on. Actually, no, I'm not No, I will comment on it. Sorry, there's a little bit of time. Was that perfect Imperial Sigil by Nazram to get the Sky away from the Varia Anvil's Hammer? It was perfectly executed, and it's little plays like that really helps to set your team apart and help control the game and win it for you. So really good stuff coming out from Vainglory saying they are showing us that they are far from out in this series, and they are now 10k gold lead ahead. So I do most of the time I feel that the 10k gap is when it is game over for the enemy team. Even though I say it's not over till it's over, 10k gold lead, that is 3 items, 4 items.
Oh, into the fray coming out, followed by the red mist, doing some nice damage onto Fox. Fox getting so low. There goes the gauntlet and the fountain off right away. I love Ashley just going in there on his own and just gets the kill onto the Fox. Great damage coming out. Surrey Strike is going to go down. Death from above is going to lock them in front of the turret. Forward barrage not quite going to finish off Starcade. Surrey Strike, though, is going to do some nice damage onto Bad Player. Bad Player getting pretty low, but is going to be able to pop that flask. Starcade going out with the A, but I love Ashley looking to take the turret down. I love Ashley getting pretty low, but the Imperial Citadel comes out, and there goes the Anvil's Hammer doing some nice damage. A is going to connect and do some damage, but there goes the Fountain, and they're going to re-engage. Death from above not quite going to connect, but the Into the Fray gets them into the fight really well, and that's going to be another kill for Cocoa Butter. There goes Arden, their support, so they got to watch out. All three of Vaguely Insane are up and looking to get a nice engage here.
Yeah, Bavaria did infuse just to kind of help to help shut down the aggression coming out from Vaguely Insane. But I want to talk about the beautiful synergy between Vaguely Insane, where they got away by using the fountain, popped the bright bulwark, Nazram did, and Rona, I Love Ashy automatically jumped back in. It just shows immense synergy, as we do see the first turret is most likely going to go down. But I don't think that's really going to worry.
Oh, Starcade getting a little caught out. Not quite going to be able to get out of there, so the turret is going to cost them. But I think it's definitely worth it. That 600 gold total, 200 going to each of them, is going to try to help them bring this back, hopefully.
Yeah, but like one turret compared to the three.
I love Ashley just going in, just trying to take the turret down on his own. Red Mist comes down, is gonna pop the reflex, like he's gonna get the turret. Oh my goodness! Solo the turret, no minions with Piercy and a Bad Player on him. Man, just the confidence coming out from Vaguely Insane here, being able to get that last turret down, that's gonna give him a huge advantage.
Is I Love Ashley using the 5v5 map or something like that? Because he's completely nowhere near his team, as we do see Cocoa Butter shutting down the Vari. It's like, he seems to be just in a completely different area of the map while still being with his team at the same time. It's one of the most unique, one of the most unique plays I've seen from Morona.
Really, I think he's got a hologram for his team. He's like, I got this, guys. You can come get me if you need to, but I got this.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it kind of feels like, and we're just seeing.
There goes a forward barrage, doing some nice damage. Death from above comes down. It's gonna lock Vox away from the fight a little bit, but Vox doing some nice damage. Fountain comes out from Lyra. Wait for it, comes down. Is not quite gonna connect onto Cocoa Butter, so Cocoa Butter is gonna try to get out of there.
Vain.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I love Ashley just sitting there waiting for them to port back. It's like, I got your Vein Crystal down to 1 HP. Come get me, guys.
See,
oh snap!
That's the thing. Like, after 16 minutes of me not being aware of where I Love Ashley was, the one time I thought, no, I'm gonna ignore the focus of the team fight, and I'm gonna look at where I Love Ashley was. There was a little bit of vision coming out from Iska, but it wasn't enough where Rona was just literally able to, like, into the fray over the wall and get straight onto that Vein Crystal, and I knew it was going to happen. It was channeling the ace backdoor win, and like Vaguely saying, they executed it perfectly.
Yeah, and they were there right there in that game. They showed ESSSKIT yeah, we may have messed up slightly in our draft that first game. We may have had a few misplays. We put up a good effort, but we're not out of this. This game shows you right there that Vaguely Insane is in it to win it, and they want to take home the glory of tonight.
Third game of the series, like third game of the series. It's been a while since I've been able to say that. Most other games I've casted in the past couple of days have been 2-0 wins, but no, this one is the main event of the night, and there's a reason why, because it's going to a third game of the series. Vaguely Insane, are they gonna look to just shoot ESSSKIT down? Viewers, put it in the chat. Hashtag Vaguely, hashtag ESSSKIT, hashtag shoot them down, hashtag hype. Get it in there. I want to see this in the chat. Shout for your team. Get the hype going. We are just getting ready to go into the draft of this second game, I believe. So I'm going to open my link and hope it does happen. But no, I haven't seen so far. I'm just waiting on some information. Just going to refresh.
So it looks like we are ready to get into this game 3 draft. We got Vaguely Insane on side A and ESSSKIT on side B. Third game, I'm so hyped for this Imperium. Great first and second games coming out from both teams, but Vaguely Insane just pulling out a great win in that second match, and I'm just can't wait for this game to get underway. We're gonna see the Ringo band come out from the start. I think it's a pretty decent band to bring out, because nice damage coming out from Ringo can be a little bit scary sometimes in these engages.
It is, and just to kind of go back a little bit on the last game, it was great. That was the Vaguely Insane that I've seen in previous matches, and it was great to see it again. And I really feel they're going to build on this. Vari is taken out. Black Feather seems a really ideal choice for them right now. Maybe a turn walker, but I just think Black Feather is just really ideal. Flexible, can be put into jungle lane, crystal power, weapon power, and just leaves a lot of comp options open for Vaguely Insane to just kind of look to maybe counter game. But no, they've gone for the Rona again. They want to repeat.
Oh, can we see I Love Ashley pull off the impossible and get 2 great wins in back-to-back with Rona? I think he can pull it off. He did really well in that last game with the Rona. Into the fray and Foe Splitter, just melting down the carries and the jungler, just getting in those backlines really easily, and had great support from his teammates.
Yeah, but the only thing now is by picking the Rona first, you have left the Sky being open for ESSSKIT, which they've picked up. I feel like ESSSKIT will ban the Taka, okay? Because then by banning the Taka, you've taken away a counter to the Sky. It makes sense. But, you know, you can't deny how much of an impact Rona had on that match. Even against Vari, a broken hero, I might add, just got absolutely shut down. However, Sky has a completely different kit on her. She has a forward Brad. She has a Sorry Strike, which is able to get away. And I called it. Taka ban coming out from ESSSKIT. Let's see what Vaguely Insane follow with.
Yeah, and last game, talking about that Varia pick, the one thing about things that are broken is they don't get used. So that's the one downside. Exactly. You don't get to use them that much. You don't get to perfect them. And then that one chance you get them, you feel overconfident. You're like, I got a broken hero. And then you lose, and you're like, what happened? What did I do wrong?
Exactly. And again, I kind of... Okay, I get why Vaguely Insane took the Grace away, because she's just so strong with that double heal, and with maybe a kiting hero like Sky, it could spell trouble for Vaguely. But I want to go on the attitude of Arden is such a good captain hero that works so well with Sky. They both are very mobile. That Vanguard can be literally the difference between life and death for a hero like Sky. It can just make such clutch plays, and even with the gauntlet, the Sky can Sorry Strike, you know, through the gauntlet and then protect herself even more. And we forgot about the Black Feather, Blake. The Black Feather is being picked up by ESSSKIT.
Oh man, I kind of like
Saying,
this. Having the Black Feather up in the lane against the Rona. We're gonna see the double melee in the lane, and then having the support from the Sky down in the jungle of those back lines. The massive damage coming out from Black Feather with his on point, getting that barrier, as well as the Faint of Heart going into the back lines, doing that execute damage when he's got the full stacks, and having that double reflex block in there with the Rose Offensive is just a really well-rounded kit, and can just be sometimes impossible to beat if he gets fed enough.
and were you talking about Black Feather being in that weapon power or crystal power role, Blake?
Okay, I was talking about the weapon power. Yeah,
See,
I meant the weapon power.
No, see, I think it's gonna be crystal power Black Feather and weapon power
Ooh,
Sky.
you think so?
Yes, because crystal power Black Feather traditionally counters the Rona. Okay, because
That
the
makes sense.
on-point late game, and weapon power Sky is so mobile that he's going to be able to dance around not only the Rona but now the Koshka and even the Arden. And let's not forget, weapon power Sky got a buff where her forward barrage doesn't necessarily do a load of damage, but it slows the enemy hero, which plays very heavily to ESSSKIT. But I want to touch on the vaguely insane comp.
And there
While
goes the
the
lance.
Lance,
Oh, baby.
you know, I could not have said that better myself. Oh, baby, is how I would sum up that last pick. Good choice. Lance is also another counter to the Rona, especially late game when we're seeing Echo being picked up on pretty much every captain, especially Lance. It gives you double Githian wall. So it means that the engagements coming out from Vaguely Insane, unlike the last game where they were, let's say, able to engage in any part of the map, they're going to have to be very careful where they engage on ESSSKIT, because if they let themselves get Githian walled not once but especially twice by the Lance, that Rona is just going to be wiped out.
Yeah, and the thing about Lance is having Rona and Koshka, both of these dive heroes, Lance can just stay back and wait for them to dive onto him. They dive in, he pops that Githian wall, and that gives him that great defense to just wait for Sky and Blackfeather to just get that opportunity to go in on them and deal out the damage they need and give him that defense against that dive comp. But yeah, it looks like we're going to be getting in here, and you are going to be right. It is going to be a CP Blackfeather and a weapon Sky. So looks like I was wrong. Oh my goodness. But gonna be a great match coming in here now. And we do see the Rona going off with that book, of course. We got the light armor and blazing salvo coming off from Sky. Just the typical double carries in the backs right now, with a little bit of scuffle from Lance and Arden here in the middle. And good way to start this off. So it looks like we got Sky and Blackfeather are coming down, finishing off that health treant, and same as Koshka and Rona, so looking to have a good engage here. We got the Githian wall being started off by Lance, no impale, so a lot of the defense, like I said, against that dive comp. And there goes the forward barrage, doing some nice damage onto the Koshka. Not too much because it is a weapon Sky, but there goes the Surrey Strike, and the Vaguely Insane is going to be able to get that the Elder Treant there in the middle, and they're going to be able to disengage. So we do see Sky getting that target lock onto the Rona. We got some nice damage coming out, and looking at the builds here, we have the double crystal bit coming out from Blackfeather, and we do see the Eclipse Prism coming out from a shop from Koshka, looking to get that early damage and be able to dive in and melt them down with her early damage from the twirly spin and
From the twirly
fun.
Yeah. So sorry about that, but I do apologize, Blake. I had some slight technical issues there in their stages. I love Ashley, you know, being such a menace into the enemy jungle, and I want to see Cocoa Butter following that up by being really
We just see
aggressive.
the on
Look,
point coming down is going to get that barrier off, but the mortal wound doing some nice damage. Grithian Wall is going to come down and stun Isle of Ashley. She's going to be able to go for that Elder Treant though. Black Feather coming up to try to get some damage off on Nazrum, but that's going to be a free Elder Treant for Vaguely Insane. Cocoa Butter is going to be able to get that and do some nice damage onto Piercy. Going for the chase, Piercy getting very low, and like I was saying, you were right, it is going to be a CP Black Feather and a Weapon Sky, and the damage coming out from Cocoa Butter getting Piercy very low. Twirly, oh my goodness, Twirly Death doing some nice damage. Get a Pouncy Fun on a bad player, not quite going to be able to finish him off. And Cocoa Butter getting really low. We do see him pop the Twirly Death, so he's looking for an engage here. Popping the Flask is going to get some nice damage off onto Stark-K. Not quite going to be able to hit the on point. And there goes Lance. That's going to be a first blood for Koshka. This is exactly what you want to see on a Koshka. The early engages, the just aggressive plays, and the massive damage coming out.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I want to see from Cocoa Butter, as we are going to see him jump onto the Black Feather.
Oh my goodness, Twirly Death and the Pouncy Fun is not quite going to be able to connect the on point onto the Koshka, but does get the barrier from Nazrum, but it looks like he's going to go for the farm. He's going to try to get it. Is going to be able to take it, but the Impale on the Githian Wall is going to do some nice control. The Faint of Heart is going to take out the Koshka. Oh my goodness. Nazrum does not look like is going to be able to get out of there, and I Love Ashy is like, I'm going to go back to my farm. I tried to help you, but you're going to get yourself out of this because I believe in you.
Vanguard, use it, pop it.
Oh my goodness,
Yes,
there goes the
does.
Vanguard, and Nazrum gets out. See, I Love Ashley, knowing Nazrum can pull out the clutch moves and can get herself out of those tough, sticky situations.
That's what I love about Arden. Just that Vanguard, it's just so clutch to get you out of a team fight, but he's definitely going to have to be careful. Definitely going to be careful coming into his late game.
Yeah, definitely. But we do see the Aftershock coming off on Koshka, so going to see a lot more damage coming off in these fights. Twirly Death going to be putting out a lot of damage. Going to be getting that level 6 here shortly, so that's definitely when they're going to want to watch out for that Catnip Frenzy, because that's going to be quite the ability.
Yeah, but they've got to play to this power spike. Yes, the Koshka hasn't got Yummy Catnip, but that Aftershock is such a strong first item on Koshka that they've got to turn it into an objective or team fight winning advantage.
Here comes Cocoa Butter from the backlines from the jungle, looking to come into the fray. Is not quite going to get him close enough to anyone. So I Love Ashley going to back off. Cocoa Butter looking to jump in on someone. On point is getting ready to be ready to go. Is going to go in with the Pouncy Fun. Twirly Death is going to get rooted by the Impale. The damage coming off on Cocoa Butter. Cocoa Butter just taking mass damage, low health. But we see I Love Ashley taking out that first Sentry Life and getting those backs. So good distraction by Cocoa Butter and Nazrum in the lane. And I Love Ashley is going to be able to turn onto Stark-K and do some nice damage. Going to be able to try to take this farm. Looking to get a nice engage here. Popping the Flask, going to do some nice damage onto the Black Feather. Mortal Wound from the Foe Splitter is going to enter the fray past the Githian Wall and is going to get a nice kill onto Stark-K. Great timing on that into the fray. Went right past the Githian Wall and was not moved by it. And that secured a kill. Good job by Isle of Ashley.
Very good, and I'm gonna need a bigger screen. I'm gonna need a bigger screen to be able to see where I Love Ashley goes, because he's just all over the place. In a good way, mind you, but he's just such a menace and is causing a huge distraction. Look at him going onto the gold mine. Really strong, aggressive.
Yeah, and Cocoa Butter is distracting him, but Cocoa Butter is getting kind of low. Death from above comes down, is going to stun the Arden. Impale is going to root him as well, but the infusion coming out from I Love Ashley, going in with the Foe Splitter. Yummy Catnip Frenzy is going to land onto the Sky. Sky goes down. There goes the Pouncy Fun, and Stark-K getting the on-point Rose Offensive, but is not going to be able to get out. Twirly Death is going to finish him off, and that's going to be another life of the Sentry down. One more life remaining, and it looks like they're also going to be able to possibly get gold mine here or push this turret.
I think one or the other is definitely a requirement, because that would really help increase their map control. They are already being quite dominant, but it's in a very isolated area, as in there's only so far they can kind of go, at least in the lane
Into the
area.
fray
Look
coming
at
out,
this.
followed by the red mist. Is going to get stunned by the Githyan wall. The impale is going to land on to Nazrum. But we do see Vaguely Insane at about a 4K gold lead right now. So they're taking and they're playing this comp the way it needs to be played. That early aggression and the early snowball kills that they need to bring this into the late game.
Yeah, I do still worry.
Into the fray comes out. Forward Barrage is going to do some nice damage. Ashley getting low health. But here comes Cocoa Butter doing some damage onto Piercy. And going to try to get him to back off a bit. Star K is going to hit the on point. Blood for blood. There goes the Into the fray. Death from above is going to stun Arden out of his gauntlet. But the the Twirly Death is going to do some massive damage onto Star K. Star K getting really low. Fountain is down for ESSSKIT, but it is still up for Vaguely Insane. You see I Love Ashley ignoring the sky and going straight for the turret. There goes the Fountain, and that's going to be first turret for Vaguely Insane, and the Sentry is going to be eliminated. 8 minutes into this game, and the Sentry is out. Can you believe it, Imperium?
You know what? I can't believe it just based
Into the
on
fray comes out. There goes the red mist, doing some nice damage. The Githyan wall is going to push him away, though. Star K is going to go down low to a Twirly Death. Piercy getting really low. There goes Piercy going in for the ace. Can he finish him off? Is going to do some nice damage, but bad player is going to be able to get out of there. Man, the gameplay coming out from Vaguely Insane right now is just insane, if I do say so.
It is, and like what I was going to say that Vaguely Insane kind of were 8.5 minutes into this game, that they've got to be careful because the Sky still hasn't got breaking point. You know, isn't kind of fully up to where she will deal this monster's weapon fire damage. So Vaguely Insane have to be careful. And I was gonna say that they have to keep pushing ESSSKIT, but they've already answered that for me.
Oh, I love Ashley going in for a 1v3. Death from above comes down, is not quite going to connect. And Ashley is going to be able to take down the Black Feather without Arden or Koshka's health. Koshka going in is going to be able to... Oh, Githyan Wall is going to try to save bad player, but Yummy Catnip Frenzy is going to go onto the Lance, and that's going to be an ace. Great engage by I Love Ashley. Not afraid for the 1v3. Was able to knock them down really well. Avoided the death from above. Took out the Black Feather, and then we saw Cocoa Butter coming in and just melting the Sky down. Like you said, you want to see him push? Well, I think that's the push that you just asked for. Ask and you shall receive. Am I right?
Ask and you shall receive, indeed. And
Githyan Wall into the depth from above. Good play there by ESSSKIT. I Love Ashley getting really low, but there goes the Fountain, and I can see it. She's gonna go back in. Nope, she's gonna go down to the Faint of Heart though. But Cocoa Butter taking down this gold mine, so I see why they were distracting. Ooh.
You know your team is ahead when Koshka can solo the gold mine. Koshka.
Yes. Whew. Koshka.
Like Koshka, like that is amazing. So, you know, now of course Vaguely Insane do need to still be a little bit careful because, as I said, you know, ESSSKIT are far from at their full build. They're far from their.
There goes the Pouncy Fun. Twirly Death is gonna go off, do some nice damage on Starcade. There comes I Love Ashley, getting the foe splitter damage in onto the Black Feather. Black Feather goes down into the fray, and then Red Mist is gonna take him down really low. And Koshka looking for the kill onto a bad player. Here comes Arden from the sidelines. Is he going to pop the gauntlet down to try to secure the kill onto a bad player? There goes the Vanguard, and there goes Cocoa Butter. Pouncy Fun, Twirly Death, blocking the death from above is going to be able to take him out, and that's going to be another kill for Koshka. This game just keeps going into the favor of these fights for Vaguely Insane. The damage coming out from I Love Ashley is just phenomenal in these fights.
It is, and they're just not letting up. Look at I Love Ashley now going on to both the Black Feather and
steals it with the Red Mist. Cocoa Butter comes in. Twirly Death's gonna do some nice damage, and Star K goes down. The impale over the wall, though, is gonna keep Piercy alive, but they're looking to push this turret. I Love Ashley gonna be able to easily take it down. Death from above is gonna stun him, but that's not gonna do anything, as he's gonna be able to take out that choke point turret and just into the mist out of there. Vaguely Insane, just continuing to apply this pressure and make this a game to watch.
They say pressure is just for tires. No, pressure is for Vaguely Insane to apply to their opponents, Blake. They are over 10k gold ahead in 11 minutes, or should I say 12 minutes? It's 11k gold in 12 minutes. That's a K. I mean, the definition of a snowball and the definition of an early game comp. I don't want to kind of keep on talking too much because action is going to pretty much happen straight away.
Oh, I love Ashley and Cocoa Butter going for this gold mine. They're going to be able to take it easily. We see Nasrum just distracting up in the lane. Just great communication coming out from Vaguely Insane right now. And you know what happens when you apply a lot of pressure. Things burst. They apply enough of this pressure, and that Vein Crystal is going to burst. Here comes I Love Ashley from behind into the fray. Red Mist is going to be able to get Stargate really low. Foe Splitter is going to finish him off, and they're looking to clean up this Sky and Lance. Into the fray coming down. Foe Splitter is going to finish him off. Sky goes down. Piercy is going down next, and they're just going to push these turrets. We have 20 seconds on Lance, 15 on Sky, and 5 on Black Feather. That's going to be one turret. They're just going to go for the game right here. Are we going to see a 13-minute game coming out from Vaguely Insane? It looks like we will. Game 3 coming down to the massive aggression from Vaguely Insane. Catnip Frenzy is going to get blocked by the Rose Offensive. Great job by Vaguely Insane to bring out this series for a reverse sweep against ESSSKIT.
Oh my sweet divine Mary Mother Jesus Blakeinator. I am just blown away by how aggressive, how coordinated, how poetically done Vaguely Insane played, not just the last match, but even more so this match. Because I said that they had to really be aggressive in this match because, you know, ESSSKIT had a late game comp. Vaguely Insane, it's like when you have a dive comp, like normally you dive kind of, especially when it's Koshka and Rona, you dive from a kind of a linear position, as in it's from left or right. We saw Ashley and Cocoa Butter engage from the side, from behind, and it was just such a menacing level of play that it was something like it was like the 3D version of Vainglory, only in the normal Vainglory game. It just really blew my mind at how well Vaguely Insane executed this comp, and I mean executed.
And can we go as far enough to say I Love Ashley straight up Rona main? Just the plays coming out from him on that Rona in both those games that he played him was just amazing. The constant jungle invasions, taking out those crystal sentries and just doing massive damage. Just, oh my goodness, I can't comprehend it all.
Yeah, exactly. And look, let's not take anything away from ESSSKIT, because especially in that last game, they did draft very well. They picked heroes that essentially countered Vaguely Insane. They picked up the Sky to counter Rona. They picked up the Black Feather to also counter Rona. And they picked up Lance, which both countered Rona and the dive comp like Koshka. Rona. However, where they fell down was that they let Vaguely Insane distract them. They didn't maintain the passive, falling back play that they should have maintained. And also, when it came to Vaguely Insane invading their jungle, ESSSKIT should have counter jungled. And that way, it would have helped them farm up just that little bit better, survive the early game a little bit better until the Sky and the Black Feather both got 2 or 3 items on the board. So, as I said, ESSSKIT didn't do a bad job. Hell, they won the first game confidently, very confidently. It was just the execution of their comp on the last game, plus the domination from Vaguely Insane, that just kind of where they fell down. And GG, well played to both teams.
Yeah, great effort by ESSSKIT and really great gameplay by both sides. Just a phenomenal match to watch. And I mean, like we said at the beginning of this match, this is definitely the match of the night. And the gameplay coming out from these teams and what you saw unfold in front of your eyes just proves that. Just what a way to end the night off.
It's the reason why the NACL is so hype and alive in this season 5. Teams like Vaguely Insane, teams like ESSSKIT, who are bringing their A game, who are trying and pushing these comps to the meta, to the depth that they can, and they are just bringing it perfectly. So I just want to ask you, Blake, before I close this one out for the evening, have you got any final words to sum up this match?
Yeah. Oh man, words to sum up this match. You know what? I'm gonna be vague. It was insane.
Oh, on that note, my name is Imperium. Absolute pleasure to be joined on the casting desk by Blake and Aaron. Thank you very much to everybody who tuned in for all of the games tonight. And very much thank you to our streamer for tonight, B. Wilkes, an absolute legend that he is. But we will have more NACL action. Don't forget to follow the Twitter if you don't have NACL. Keep up to date with the NACL band just to make sure that you know when the next hype action